for some money, but the money doesn't buy back all the time that it takes. So I hit up Amazon and get some temporary dopamine.
I've shot this video now too many damn times and shit keeps going wrong with it. So this is gonna be the one.
Excuse me.
So it's not gonna be perfect. This isn't expensive budget video. It's the first one on the channel. I did write up a bunch of stuff because I do want to articulate my thoughts properly. There is a lot to unpack here. The poll on my Instagram said that people wanted to see this. This is my thoughts after a year of semen retention. So I would like to preface this by saying this is more aimed at men, as orgasms for, women are different. Ejaculating is different, all of that. So, to make it simple, what is semen retention? Well, not ejaculating. Not to be confused with an orgasm, because these two are separate things. It's possible, as I've even done it, to orgasm without ejaculating through control of your PC muscle. Flexing that muscle right between the ass and the genitals, having the sperm go back into your bladder for what's called a full body or dry orgasm, overshooting it out, which is really only for reproduction and the money shots. Now, semen retention goes back as far as China, 8,000 years ago and beyond. It was believed that a person's life force and vitality is stored in the genitals.
Super Vegeta's Big Bang Attack!
And you're probably just dumping that all over, whenever, wherever, multiple times a day. Now, there's all sorts of research, from evidence-based, peer-reviewed, to just theories around ejaculating aging you faster. The more you ejaculate, it can leave you tired, exhausted, lethargic, depressed, stagnant, and unmotivated. It can become hard to create other things in your life when all your creative energy has essentially gone into just creating a mess. It can also lead to issues with your prostate, as well as your mental health. A good amount of people that over-ejaculate aren't actually making love to a partner in an intimate, onking each other's energy, tantric type of way. They are actually sleeping with random people, fragmenting their energy around, masturbating to porn, and can become addicted to this kind of immediate release. Now, porn in itself, which studies and research show, can affect your perception of men or women and leads to the objectification of men or women. Like if you notice someone's ass before their smile, or the bulge in their gray sweats before their receding hairline, yeah.
So it seems the rumors are true after all.
It teaches that on impulse you can have a quick release and reward, which in my opinion breeds weak men. As much as I'm all for women and men being able to make money however they choose, the fact that men and women can objectify each other and give each other money for sex, pictures, whatever, to me is still a problem in society. I found that a lot of these same men or women will also complain that they can't find a real partner. They're sick of being objectified. They want a respectable partner who isn't controlled by lust or other quick temporary dopamine releases. This essentially all just feeds into itself. Now you got to ask yourself, are you a king that has full control over all of your temptations and desires? Or have you become a slave to these things? Semen retention is also not to be confused with NoFap. NoFap is the name of an organization that's more focused on porn recovery and not so much on semen retention, to provide information and community support for people who want to get rid of compulsive behaviors involving and improving interpersonal relationships. If you look around the internet, some of the benefits you'll see on semen retention are better focus, more alert, better sleep, better concentration, more energy, which makes sense because ejaculating takes a good amount of energy, blood flow, and especially a large amount of zinc, which is usually more than a single meal can replace. Increase in testosterone levels. One study found that after 7 days of abstinence, men's serum testosterone levels reached 146% of baseline. Another study noticed an increase in testosterone levels after 3 weeks of abstinence. Cell repair, cell rejuvenation, self-protection. When you no longer have permanent ejaculation deficiency, your body no longer needs to focus on creating more sperm, so you have more energy for other processes. It's kind of like when you intermittent fast or you fast and your body can get to a point where it's done breaking down all the food and then it can kick over to repairing. Athletes are taught not to ejaculate before events, anywhere from at least 2 hours to 3 months. Boxers, a lot of historically famous people were against it. Isaac Newton, Nikola Tesla. There was a famous samurai, Saigo Takamori, believed that masturbation is an obstacle to happiness and loyalty. The Simpsons had a whole skit on semen retention and productivity. You can look that one up. So, That's semen retention, more or less, right? But I'm not here to convince you. I'm just here to tell you my thoughts after a year. So, to get a basic understanding of where I'm coming from, for the record, let's just say that I'm someone who's had sex 1,000 times and masturbated 1,000 times.
It's over 9,000!
For me, this was hard at first. It was hard. Literally hard. Every day just waiting for me to get that damn release.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies.
But I started to feel like a sense of pride as the days went by, as I was honoring some kind of discipline. I would say that it honestly took about a month, where I then realized I was becoming a lot more picky with my energy, who I chose to talk to. There was no kind of like, oh, maybe, or like desperation, or like, oh, this, or oh, that. Like, I was honestly becoming like more picky, who I wanted to give my time to, who I felt was worth any of my energy. I was more aware of what I wanted to actually create. Like, I wasn't really distracted, anymore. I ended up making a whole album with one of my friends. I also was making it a point not to watch porn. So after this month, I also started to feel like more pure. I was also doing some breath work, exercising. My diet was pretty clean. Did a couple enemas, nothing crazy strict. I'd still have a cookie or whatever, right? But just being aware. I also felt like I was releasing other people's energies that had imprinted on me over the years. So on a deeper level here, if a man or a woman is engaging in sex, intercourse, sharing each other's energy, imprinting on each other, how long does it really take for that energy to leave you? Especially if you aren't actively trying to cleanse it. I started to feel a freedom within myself, more like myself, like I was finding more in myself, and that was empowering. I ran into someone one day that I'd previously been in a relationship with, and without them even having to speak, I could read and kind of see all the different conflicting energies all over them. It's like when you let so many people have a taste of you, how much of you is really left?
I don't like the look of it.
And are you 100% speaking from the purest, still version of yourself? I don't think so, because certain people started to feel like fragmented frequencies, like just high voltage. Shit started to make me uneasy. I was honestly still objectifying women, like on an instinctual level, but the urge to dominate and procreate started to fade as I found myself now thinking certain people weren't worth my energy at all. Like, I'm a transformative narcissist, Around 3 months in, objectification stopped. I quit seeing gender in that manner, where like men and women were, I started seeing men and women as equal. I could have the same conversations with each, no hidden desire or intention or agenda. I didn't see like a fat ass and think like, oh, she should just reroute to Smashtown. Like, I really just saw another beautiful person who probably has a lot of shit going on like the rest of us. I also became more confident around complimenting and acknowledging all the beautiful men out there. I just started to see everyone as beautiful and only separated by personality, and then depending on the personality, right? But I also started to feel like probably no one would ever get my sperm again.
Stop whining.
My goal and my why was to get to a point where I would see the world different. As you grow up, right, especially with all the media being pushed on you, it's like you're an iPhone. And from your parents and religion and school and friends and the media, it's like you're getting all these apps installed on you. And I don't know, man, you hit some point like in your 20s, 30s, 40s, some people, they never even question it when they're like, what the fuck are all these apps? Like, some people identify with the apps, they don't ever realize like they're not the apps, like they're the phone, like in the sense of the analogy, right? So I wanted to like decondition and deprogram, and I wanted to uninstall all the bullshit. And I really felt like this was a huge part of that. The whole objectification of women and feeling this way and sex sells and blah, 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 blah. I just wanted it to go. Like, I wanted to see people as people. So, around the 3-month mark, I really felt like I had achieved that. Not falling to any temptation, finding peace within myself, clearing myself of those other energies, not being an impulse slave. Now, after the 3 months, I really should have started more Tantra practices and finding ways to transform this energy. But as I had completed my initial goal, I just didn't. I mean, when I would work out, I would flex my PC muscle. In the car, I would flex it. I would touch myself like on a weekly basis to make sure everything worked right. My friends were making jokes and shit like, oh, does it even still work? I did once have the full body orgasm where I came into myself. You know, honestly, a part of me was still working through like those emotional traumas of sex and intimacy, you know, still kind of leading to those feelings of how I felt like the last time I had sex. And it still kind of made me want to like back off from the idea of like pursuing a partner. I think the true test, though, is putting yourself in tempting environments. You know, like I feel like it's easy for people to stay faithful if they have like no options, or, you know, it's easy to stay away from pizza if like you don't live in a city with it, or, you know, just whatever, right? But like if you put yourself in that environment that's going to tempt you, I think that's when, you know, that's when it counts. And so I put myself in a couple of situations, but I passed those tests. Now, fast forward, you know, 8 to 12 months, I started to just feel like I was at a gym and like I wasn't seeing any more gains. I started to feel more kind of isolated than anything. You know, I was starting to have like a longing for touch, human connection, but I didn't want to explain. And I kind of still don't like want to explain to someone who's probably just looking for something casual, like, hey, we could probably be intimate, but like that's just a random casual encounter is like not important to me. And then if that is just what it is, like I'm practicing like not coming, so like are you cool with that? And if I start to come, it's like more complicated than like a fucking dietary conversation. So like you know, but people talk about blue balls. That never happened. People say they have wet dreams for the first year. That didn't happen, but a wet dream did eventually get me within the last month. That's kind of what broke it. As far as the list of pros and cons, I'm pretty sure you can extract your own from everything I just said. I'm overall happy with the results. I achieved what I wanted to achieve. I would say that after you stop all the like objectification and desire and impulses and all of that stuff, you know, that could take you, I mean, that really varies by individual. But after that, I would look more into Tantra, more transformative processes other than just letting months go by how I did. The real power is always in furthered education. And man, the kind of knowledge in this field, like if you really dig deep, there's claims from people being able to store that and live hundreds of years. You know, Egyptians being able to onk each other's energy and after sex feeling like you have enough energy for like a whole week versus you feeling tired afterwards. And there's a lot to it if you're willing to go down that route. I know Indians have a practice called like Brahmacharya. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's like a whole lifestyle around it, you know, with further stuff added. But yeah, anyways, drop a like, sub, leave a comment below with your experience, or if you have more questions, if you want more videos like this or what you would like to see. I appreciate your time. Thank you.